I'll get into why you might need to calibrate your Tesla's windows later, but I want to get right into how to do it because it's so simple. You're going to sit in the driver's seat with all of the doors closed, and you're going to pick one of the windows at a time and pull up on the window switch into the closed position for about 30 seconds, and I'm going to time this. Next, you're going to open the window and hold the window switch in the open position for about 30 seconds after it finishes opening. And then finally, one last time, you're going to close it and hold the switch in the closed position, again, for about 30 seconds after it finishes closing. And that's all there is to it to calibrate your window in your Tesla. Actually, it's how you're going to calibrate the windows in just about any modern vehicle that has auto close windows. The part in a window motor that determines how far the window moves is called the regulator for a very good reason. It regulates how far the window moves so that when it closes, it doesn't press too hard on the seal, damaging it, and when it opens, it doesn't over torque the motor and burn it out. The calibration process overrides the regulator so that it can learn what the actual full range of motion of the glass is. You're not going to burn out your motor or damage your window seals doing the calibration process because you're just doing it one time. Once calibrated, the regulator is going to ensure that your window opens as far as it can possibly open without harming the motor. It's going to allow it to close as tightly as it's supposed to close against your window seal. We actually had to calibrate the windows in this Model 3 right after we got it because two of the windows were not opening all the way. So if you've got windows that aren't opening the same amount on one side of your vehicle as they are on the other, you should consider calibrating the regulators. Calibrating your windows isn't something that you would ordinarily have to do very frequently, but over time the weight of the glass can actually allow them to slip slightly out of calibration. Tesla recently released an update to the app that lets you know if you forgot your windows open, and they've been open for, I think it's 10 minutes after the car locks itself and it senses that you've walked away. Pretty cool feature, but all of a sudden people are getting these notifications and they look out and their windows look closed. Well, it turns out that recalibrating the windows fixes that false alarming for a lot of the people that experience it. And it's not actually surprising when you find out that it's many people with older Teslas that have this happening to them. Older Teslas have had more time for the weight of their windows to slowly drop their way out of calibration. Another reason you might have to recalibrate your windows is if you try to close it and then as soon as it gets to the top of its range of motion, it automatically reverses and opens again. That can be very frustrating when that happens, but there could be weather reasons why the seals in your window have swelled, and then your auto reverse function in your window regulator triggers because it senses too much pressure, and then as a safety feature, it stops closing the window and opens it right away. It can be life-saving. If the window closes on the neck of a child or a dog, it stops and reverses to make enough room for the child or the dog to pull their head back in out of that space. It's a lot smarter than just stopping the pressure. Now, if recalibrating your window fixes that, you might actually have somebody take a look at your window seals to make sure they're in decent shape and they're not falling out of place, causing that pressure in the first place. It's helpful to know that this method works for many manufacturers and not just Teslas, because I bet there's a very small number of companies that actually make regulators that go into car windows no matter who's making the car around them. Even then, it's just a really sensible way of doing it. So it wouldn't surprise me that if there are multiple manufacturers, they've all settled on one way of calibration if there's not a patent that's restricting their use of this method. It is good to know this method if you own vehicles other than Teslas, because calibration issues with auto reversing mirrors especially are not unique to Teslas at all. If you're looking to get a Tesla for yourself, be sure to use my Tesla Owners referral link. You can see it right here. It'll get you free supercharging if you use it to place your order. Full details on a Tesla Owners referral program can be found at the link itself. Be sure to subscribe so you can see more tips and tricks on owning a Tesla. I really appreciate you watching The Tech of Tech, and hope to see you next time.